Alrighty, anytime I can use the cool 1980s and the band in excess, I'm going to do it. Guys, I am going to be doing a case study today with about manufactured homes. And you know I'm having a bad day, right? First of all, my hair it's not working. It's whacked, no question. And then also check out these glasses. I think I'm missing a portion of them. I broke my glasses, so that's bad. It's really bad. But hey, we wanted to. I was talking with Betsy and Bill, and we wanted to do a case study about manufactured homes. Reason being, these can be challenging. They're not only challenging for clear cappers, review staff, not for Revas, staff appraisers, even upper management. They can be some difficult properties to analyze, but also the appraisers out in the field. Many of them don't have a whole lot of experience in appraising these types of properties. So when we're reviewing these, we really got to make sure that they're meeting all the requirements of the client. So anyways, before we keep moving into my little discussion, let's actually ask someone here in our listening group if they know the differences between a manufactured home, a modular home, a mobile home, and a travel trailer. So let's go ahead. Let's ask, how about you right there? Okay, well, it looks like Mr. Spicoli is a little tongue-tied right now, so we'll move along. All right, so let's break it down. Travel trailers were really brought about like in the 1950s, 1960s, and essentially, vacationers, Americans like to travel throughout the United States. They wanted something they could use so they could temporarily camp. That's really what travel trailer is. However, as time progressed, as we got more into the 60s and early 70s, Americans wanted something a little bit more elaborate, something a little bit larger, so that they could extend the duration of their camping. This is where mobile homes came in. Okay, they were called mobile homes. They basically had hitches. They were on a steel chassis, and people would actually, go ahead and purchase these, hook them up to their trucks, and drop them off on properties. Problem was there really was no safety standards for these structures. A lot of them were poorly designed. They had electrical issues. There was no proper egress and ingress for fire. And so, since there was somewhat of a danger and not really of a safe standard, same thing, people would take these to an area where there was a lot of snow. Well, their roofs would cave in and crush people. Department of Housing and Urban Development came up with what's called HUD code, or Manufactured Housing Code. So on June 16th, 1976, HUD actually implemented a standard. So these mobile homes had to be built a specific way with specific guidelines. This is what we call HUD code, again, or Manufactured Housing Code. All right. Now, the difference between a modular home is built to what we call UBC code or IRC code. So UBC is Uniform Building Code. IRC is International Residential Code. This is what closely aligns with traditional frame type construction, and also this aligns with what we call SFRs, single family residences. Okay, we also call them stick built homes. So those are the two differences. Modular is with normal UBC and IRC code, just like an SFR, right? And then manufactured is HUD code, or also Manufactured Housing Code. So they are distinctly different. All right, let me show you a couple pictures of those. And again, manufactured, they are built on site, actually at the manufacturing facility. They are erected there. They're put on a steel chassis, and then they are shipped to a specific site. They're designed for that site. So let's say, for example, you're at the 3,000 foot level. That structure is to accommodate for snow load. All right. Also, if you're in a high impact zone for wind, or there's the potential for earthquake, we call that a geo, right? Seismic rating. They're actually designed for that. So each manufacturer's home designed for a specific site, and it's completely erected at the manufacturing facility and then shipped in sections. Okay. You can have one section, two section. I think there's now even four different sections for a manufactured home. Now, for modular, They will ship it in what we call panels or modules. So they're somewhat prefabricated. They go on a truck, they're shipped to that site, and then they are assembled. So I'll show you a couple different pictures of what a manufactured home looks like, built on a steel chassis, and then, of course, modular homes built with panels. Okay. Okay, now we've been able to see a little bit of what manufactured homes look like and what modular homes look like, and basically the construction of them. So, my next question to you guys is, can anyone tell me how we can recognize a manufactured home versus a modular home?
Bueller, Bueller.
All right, then. Moving along. Yes, there are ways that we can distinguish the difference between a manufactured home and a modular home. So for a manufactured home, there's two things that we have to look out for. One of them is called a HUD tag, all right, or a HUD label. And what it is, it's a 2-inch by 4-inch piece of metal that has the serial number for each section of the manufactured home. So when it's at the manufacturing site, it's built. This little metal tag is affixed to each section, and it has to be on that section by law when it's transported, and it's not supposed to come off ever. So that's HUD tag. The manufactured home also has what's called a HUD data plate. HUD data plate is an 8-inch by 11-inch piece of paper. You can find it either in several locations in the manufactured home. One place is on the back door of the laundry room. So if you enter the laundry room, on the back side of that door there, you'll see it there. Could be in the master bedroom closet on the door or on the wall inside that closet. And then also it can be under the kitchen sink. Why the kitchen sink? I have no idea. Ask Ted Stark. Anyways, so that's for the HUD data plate. Now, modular homes are a little more tricky, and each state has a different requirement. But most of the states will have some type of tag, if you will, a metallic tag indicating that it is a modular home. They might also have a similar 8-inch by 11-inch piece of paper, just like the HUD data plate for manufactured home, and it will state that it's modular. And remember, the modular home is built to local building code, UBC code or IRC code, and manufactured is built to HUD code or a manufactured housing code. All right, so those are the two ways, and I'll go ahead and show you a couple little pictures of what they look like. All right, guys. Hey, by the way, if you hear like a saw in the background, that's just good old neighbor Jim going to town on the saw. So if you hear some noise, I do apologize for that. And also for my crooked glasses. All right, hey, let's talk about two things that are super important to our clients and also Fannie Mae and also HUD. We always go back and ask appraisers when we see this, right? We're talking about additions to a manufactured home, or if there's some type of deck, awning, garage, a structure that is attached, right? Or if it's affixed. Reason for that is if it's not part of the original design, it could compromise the structural integrity of the manufactured home. Because again, remember, each manufactured home is built for a specific site, and it accommodates for snow, wind load, and also a seismic rating. So that's why we have to go back. And here's the thing. If we do see an addition, do you know that it's a requirement of the lender to determine if that addition has compromised the integrity of that manufactured home? Some states require a state agency to come out and verify that. And then if it's not a state with a state agency requirement, a third party has to come in and look at it, like a building inspector for the local municipality. So we don't have to make the property subject to, but we can go ahead and bring out the awareness, keep the appraisal as is. We recommend to the appraiser to keep it as is, but we have to pass that information along, okay, when we see that addition. and then we put basically the liability back onto the lender. So that's one way of handling that file. We can go subject to, but we always want to keep the file moving, so that's one way to handle it. All right, let's also talk about what happens if the HUD tags are removed from the manufactured home. Super important. The old misconception was that those HUD tags are removed because they're not supposed to be removed by law. But if they are, you couldn't loan on that property. It was ineligible. That's not true. You can actually recommend to the appraiser to go to what's called the IBTS.org website. That stands for Institution of Business Technology and Safety. There, I got it, IBTS. And each manufactured home in the United States actually has to be recorded and sent to the IBTS website. So there is verification there. So again, if we don't have the HUD tag, we can recommend, go ahead and ask the appraiser to put that in their appraisal, put the requirement back onto the lender that they need to independently verify, again, that manufactured home has meet HUD code. All right. So, and let's don't fight with the appraiser. I've made that mistake a couple times in the past, and you know what will happen? You'll probably get one of these. I'm your huckleberry. All right, guys, this is the last segment. Let's talk about foundations for manufactured homes. Super important, right? Manufactured homes have to be affixed to a permanent foundation to be considered real property, meaning lenders and Fannie Mae, they can lend on that home. If it's not affixed to a permanent foundation, basically what we have is personal property. It's just like a travel trailer. You can hook it up and pull it off. You have to remove the tow hitch from the manufactured home. You have to take off the wheels, and it has to be affixed to a permanent foundation. If you look at Fannie Mae's breakdown of what's an approved foundation, it talks about a 2x2 footing with also 8 inches of concrete, and it could be a steel pier, and in for some municipalities, it could even be a reinforced pressure-treated post. However, if we don't know, right, or you can't tell, or maybe even the appraiser has stated they can't verify if it meets local building code, what we can do in that instance is actually have the appraiser verify it. They can go to that municipality and make sure that it is an approved permanent foundation. So that way the client is protected and we know it's real property. All right. That's basically the end of the little fun training session on manufactured homes. We're going to break away here and then talk about a live example looking at appraisal. So we'll go ahead and take that on as a case study for a materially deficient report. But before we go, let's ask Mr. Spicoli what he thinks of Jay Hernandez's new haircut and manufactured homes in general. See you guys.